Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. The rain, snow, the wind, that has all arrived here. Actually, the wind will be picking up overnight, but many areas are already seeing some snow. Coastal areas are seeing a little bit of rainfall. Everything seems to be pretty much on track with our next storm system. This one has a multi-variable storm. What do we mean by that? Well, it's snow changing to rain for most areas. The winds will be strong later tonight and early tomorrow. There is the potential for flooding. 2 to 3 inches of rain with some snow melt will lead to some poor drainage flooding. I think that's the primary concern. I don't think we'll be looking at the river flooding that we had a few weeks ago, simply because the headwaters where we had all the problems in the foothills, there will be snowing. There'll be some hefty accumulations of snow in the mountains. There'll be spots get over a foot of snow. No real changes have been added to the forecast overnight. It's a pretty quick mover. It's not like the last one where it's going to hang around for a couple days. This one should be pretty much out of here at 9-10 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit later across Midcoast, Maine. So thanks for joining us tonight on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We have a few things to outline tonight, and let's just jump into them. Actually, we have a couple more storms in the forecast as well as 2 more storms in the 7-day. Next one looks kind of similar to this one, not quite as impactful, I think, as far as wind goes, and that will be Friday night, Saturday. The next one may be Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and that one has a better chance to bring some snow. So that's a ways down the road here. Let's take a look at, the storm system. The highlights really have not changed at all. This is a graphic I made. I made this graphic while it was snowing on Sunday. Strong southeast winds. There we are. That's probably going to lead our headlines. Heavy mountain snow, flooding, 2 to 3 inches of rain on top of snow will cause some basement flooding. We'll be tracking the potential for some stream flooding, perhaps, some urban flooding, poor drainage flooding, and coastal flooding. We'll be watching the high tide tomorrow morning. High tide is at 9:36 a.m. It's already running high due to the moon cycle, and it is expected to be a little bit over flood stage tomorrow morning around high tide, 9:30, because we'll have a little bit of a surge involved there as well. Let's take a look at where we are right now. There is the storm. I wonder if we can widen this out. No, let's widen this out. Hold on a sec. This is a pretty sizable storm. Let's take a look how big this sucker is. Look at this. All right, so the center of low pressure is right up in here. That's not a great track for a storm if you're looking for snow. Sometimes if you have a strong high to the north, you can get a little secondary low to develop down here, and that comes the primary feature, but that is not going to be the case with this one. So we're going to have a stiff southeast wind, so areas of start of snow will be changing over to some rain, and nice little comma shape to it right there. There's a lot of moisture that's been surging up the entire eastern seaboard right out of the Gulf of Mexico. So this does have copious amounts of moisture and will have some heavy rain in it. The time frame for most impactful rain and wind is going to be late tonight and more so into the very early morning hours tomorrow. I've been highlighting about 3 a.m. to about 8 a.m. for our strongest winds. So let's take a look at where we are in the closer inspection of the Doppler here. We have rain occurring in Portland right now. I just took a little walk outside and it is raining. At last check, Portsmouth was raining as well, coastal York County. So many of you are raining at the coast. We may flip over to a little bit of snow as the temperatures try to cool just a little bit before the winds pick up. There was about 4-degree temperature difference between the air temperature and the dew point. So you might see a quick flip to snow before with the real rain returns in earnest here. But the wind has already started to pick up. Portland at last hour was 30 degrees. And I think the new update, actually, we can take a look at it. The new update is 36. We did jump to 37 within the hour here. So we've seen a 7-degree temperature jump due to the wind shift in Portland and Wiscasset. Look at that. Wiscasset's up to 35 right now as well. Even Sanford's up to 32. So Sanford was in the 20s just an hour ago. Lewiston will stay in the 20s for the next couple hours, probably slowly climb back into the 30s. But that means the southeast wind is starting to develop. And you may see a brief change over back to snow at the coastline, and then the real rain comes in overnight. So this is going to be a primarily rain event for southern and coastal zones. Winter weather advisories, there they are, areas in the purple. We have winter storm warnings, areas in the pink. I want to run through all the warnings, watches, and advisories real quick for you. The way to think about this: in the warning area, you stand the greatest chance for getting a half foot of snow or more. We have flood watches out, areas in green. You can think about this as our greatest chance for getting some of that poor drainage flooding, basement flooding. It's a good time to check the sub pump, perhaps. The ground is frozen. You get some melt on some of the snow. I think there'll be some problems with some poor drainage flooding overnight. I don't think we're going to get the river flooding we had a few weeks ago. This goes into effect at 10 o'clock and extends into tomorrow. We have a high wind warning in effect 10 o'clock tonight, extends through 1 p.m. on Wednesday. The way to think about this: areas in the warning, you stand the greatest chance for getting over 50-mile-per-hour winds. Wind advisories have been issued, areas in tan. You'll probably get some gusts over 40 miles per hour in that advisory area, 40 to 50 or so. Coastal flood warnings go into effect tomorrow morning as well. So this is for the 9:36 a.m. high tide. We're watching that high tide pretty closely because actually for a variety of reasons. One, it's already high due to the full moon cycle. Two, the waves are going to be huge out in the ocean. The marine forecast calls for waves 15 to 20 feet. 15 to 20 feet. That's a pretty big wave. And that will be splashing on shore with an already high tide due to the moon cycle. Factor in a little bit of a surge. I think that there will be some minor coastal flooding, beach erosion, and splash over. So I plan on at least some minor coastal flooding tomorrow morning at 9:30, around 9:30 for the 9:30 high tide. Let's go hour by hour, town by town, and storm tracker. And this kind of highlights our situation into the morning tomorrow. This is not a Wednesday storm. This is an overnight into Wednesday morning storm. Things will improve dramatically by late morning tomorrow. Here we are, 8 o'clock tonight, right around now. This is lining up beautifully with what we have on the radar. This is a future radar run by a high resolution model, and it seems to be working pretty well. This is 1 o'clock in the morning, and the rain snow line is slowly starting to march north. A few things to highlight. One, those yellows and oranges indicate some heavy bursts of rain. So the rain will pick up in intensity. It's been very light so far, but you're going to see some heavy rainfall overnight. We're tracking 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, if you're watching us in the snow area, yeah, it's still snowing for you for probably Freiburg, Bridgeton area, Lewis and Auburn. This extends over to Augusta, Waterville, even Rockland, portion of the Midcoast, Maine. You're probably still snowing midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. So the snow is going to be with you, and it will still continue to pile up for several more hours before you transition over to some rain. But even you will transition to rain with that rain snow line getting up into the Route 2 corridor. In fact, a little bit north of that. The mountains hold on to snow the longest out of this one, and the higher peaks will hold on to snow the longest here as well. There will be a little wintry mix to end this one out in the mountains, maybe even a little bit of rain early in the morning tomorrow, but this is a 5 a.m. Few things to note. 5 a.m. This is probably the time range of our strongest winds. It's one of those nights, if your window faces southeast or south or east, you're going to be, you might wake up to the wind-driven rain. I mean, this is just going to be one of those nights where it's hard to sleep. It's just so windy. And it's 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. of our strongest winds. The winds will be out of the southeast, kind of like the last storm, but not quite as strong. We're not expecting, I don't think we're going to get gusts 65 or anything like that. My guess, Portland gets peak gusts 40, let's see, what did I write? 45 to 55 miles per hour. That's what it was. And from Casco Bay east, it's probably 55 to 65. There might be a few spots and some of the peninsulas that get up over 65 miles an hour, mid-coast Maine and down east. So yeah, I'm not going to rule out a few spots even a little bit higher than that. But there's the snow trying to hang on. The heavy rainfall is with us in the morning and the early morning commute. There'll be a lot of ponding on the roadways, some poor drainage issues. I mean, watch the basements, watch the sub pump. This is 5:30 a.m. Back edge of the rain, mountain snow, strong winds moves out pretty early. So we're probably looking at that moving out. My guess as soon as 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and some sun's trying to poke out. Notice a few scattered showers in the afternoon, snow showers in the mountains, rain showers elsewhere. That's not going to be a huge deal. This is pretty much over with during probably the mid to late morning. It'll probably be late morning for you over toward Penobscot Bay. It's going to take a little while to get it out in those areas. So snowfall amounts, no big changes here. We're probably tracking, about a coating to 2 in the lighter shade of blue. Even areas that start with rain with light winds, you may see a quick flip to some wet snowflakes over the next hour or so. But as soon as that southeast wind cranks up, yeah, you're going to get some problems with the, you got to change over to rain. Then you're going to get some problems with some power outages. That's late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Sebago Lake area up to Lewis and Augusta area. This goes up to Bangor, extends through interior northern York County, 2 to 5 inches of snow. I think Lewiston and Augusta gets on the upper end of that, same up into Waterville. Now, things get a little more interesting as you get, you get some of the hills back on the west side of Sebago Lake. You get into northern Androscoggin County, northwestern Kennebec County, and back through the mountains. Many of these areas will get over 5 inches of snow, and it's probably about 5 to 10 in that area. Highest elevations probably get 10 to 15 inches of snow, and I included a plus because there will be areas that do get over 15 inches of snow. Feel pretty confident about that. It's going to be the higher elevation. Some of the ski resorts that really benefit from these sort of setups, Sugarloaf, Saddleback, Wildcat, those are the higher ones that can really get some hefty snowfall amounts. We talked about it last night in the update, and we a long time ago used to always call this one the Sugarloaf Special. Anytime you get the snow changing to rain, because the western mountains of Maine are the last to get the changeover to rainfall. The warm air comes in from the west, the warm air comes in from the south, and it's kind of like a little V that kind of hangs on up into the western mountains of Maine. We talked about 2 to 3 inches of rain. It's not looking good. 2 to 3 is a lot of rainfall. It's not 6 inches though. That's good news. Not like the December 18th storm. So we're not expecting issues like that. As far as wind goes, my guess Portland Jetport has peak wind gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour. And those of you from Casco Bay to Penobscot Bay, it's going to be stronger. There'll probably be some gusts a little over 65 miles per hour. Not everybody's going to fall in that range, but most areas get into the 55 to 65. Peninsulas and islands. Augusta, you'll get into the 45 to 55. I'm not convinced Lewiston will. If you do, it's on the lower end of that. Most inland communities get into the 35 to 45 mile per hour range. And it's a southeast wind coming in right off the ocean. If we had a northeast wind, we'd hold on to the cold air. This would be a big snowstorm if that was the case. But, for everyone, the mountains are getting a big snowstorm tonight. And the mountains will get some wind as well. So there's some more wind in that dark red contour. If I had multiple more dark reds, I'd put it right over Mount Washington. They're going to get stronger winds than outlined right there. Think of that as the valleys and, where people live, not the 6,288 feet weather observatory up on Mount Washington. They'll get some good winds up there. I wonder if they'll hit 100. Bet they will. They'll get over 100 tonight. All right, 1 o'clock in the morning. Winds here, they're about 40, 43 miles per hour. You see that? They were gusting pretty strong here. And here we are at about 5 a.m. I think this is pretty much the window of some of our strongest winds. So 5 a.m. we're gusting, 45 to 55 miles per hour. The 56 might be a little generous in Portland. We'll see. Maybe we'll get up to around 60, but I think it's mostly 45 to 55 for coastal York, coastal Cumberland County, and stronger winds should be expected mid-coast Maine and down East Maine. You see that up towards the the Rockland area. This is 8 a.m. We're still gusting 45 to 50 in Portland, Lewiston, Augusta. Notice Rockland gusting over 60 miles per hour. Again, that's early in the day. Now, it may take a few more hours over near Penobscot Bay to get rid of the strong winds, but for most of us, I think the strong winds are moving out 9, 10 a.m., somewhere in there. Now, this will affect your morning commute, especially the early morning commute, but I don't know. My kids have been wondering, will we have school? I think it all depends on if you have power and what the road flooding situation is like. But I think, I don't know. I think the kids will have school. But it all depends on if you have power or not. We'll see. Maybe some delays. How's that sound? That's 10:30. We'll have marked improvement by late morning. And it looks like during the afternoon, winds will be gusting 30 miles per hour late morning and afternoon. But that's a very manageable wind. Thursday, Friday look okay. Tomorrow, things improve late morning and afternoon. Thursday, sun and clouds. Friday's a nice day. I think that next round of snow and rain moves in Friday night to Saturday. So that Friday night, Saturday storm, we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. We're in a period where you can get a storm every 2 or 3 days, just about every 3 days. So the next one is Friday night, Saturday. It's probably snow changing to rain, mostly rain at the coast. Keep an eye on the Tuesday or Wednesday situation of next week. That one could be more of a snow event if it tracks right. So we'll see how that plays out. If you're just joining us on the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, let's run through the timing of this one more time. There's that rain snow line slowly jogging north at 1 o'clock in the morning, still snowing from the north side of Sebago Lake up to Bridgeton, Freiburg, Lewis and Auburn, Augusta, all the way into the Penobscot Bay region, Rockland, Belfast, Camden. This goes up into the Oxford Hills, Rangeley, Berlin, North Conway. It's going to take a little while to scour out the cold air there, but notice the heavy bursts of rain, strong winds will be with us into the morning hours tomorrow. I think the most impactful time range is going to be 3 a.m. to about 8 a.m. After that, we'll start to see some improvement, and there is the back edge slowly working its way off to the northeast. And again, we will see marked improvement for the afternoon tomorrow. There's a quick look at the temperatures again. We're still hanging at 36 in Portland, was cast at 35. That's actually the hourly temperature, so I would not expect that to change. I know a bunch of you have been chiming in with your comments, and let's see, I got a bunch of them here, so maybe we can rattle off some of those. State offices will be closed. Oh, we got the report on that. Oh, that's new to me, Karen. Thank you for the update. I haven't been following up on the closings. I haven't really checked that out yet, so. Let's see. My dad plows Wyndham. He hasn't stopped. Oh, yeah, Whitney. I bet he's been busy. Wyndham got a decent amount of snow with the last storm. Charlie says, schools, y'all. Who said that one? Let me find it. Charlie says, school, y'all. We trust and try. Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate it. I don't know. I told my kids they have a 40% chance of having school off or a late start. That was my guess. I'm very poor at guessing schools, by the way. I'm flat out. I never know what superintendents are thinking, but it all depends on if you have a lot of outages. I think it's as simple as that. They'll probably assess in the morning and see how it goes. But it all depends on where you are, though, too. I mean, the areas that get 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, yeah, I think you have a better chance for getting school off. If you live near the coast, you get a lot of outages. Hopefully, the weak branches broke back on December 18th, and we won't have that many outages. But I don't think this is nearly as bad as the last storm we had. Oh wow, Oxford School called out. Yeah, the Oxford Hills. That's a good idea, probably. Huh? I think my daughter's up there tonight. She's playing a basketball game. That's great. Good to know. All right. All right, John. Everybody's checking in with Oxford. I appreciate that. Sanford. It's snowing good here in Sanford, Susan said. All right, Susan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any good accumulations, let me know. I'd love to see it. How much snow in the Augusta area? I think you're in the upper end of the 2 to 5. You might hit 6. It's probably like 4, 5, or 6. 3 to 6. How does that sound? Let's look at it. But this is the map we've been using all week. But I think, you're pretty close to that line. I think Augusta is probably on the upper end of the 2 to 5. So yeah, you'll be on the upper end of that. Maybe 6. We'll see. We have a good coating in Wyndham, Kelly says. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Not snowing in Bradford yet. All right, give it a little while. All right. Thank you very much, Audrey. When is our next good snow in Portland area? Maybe, let's think about this. Maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday. Hey, Liz. I didn't even see it was Liz. Good friend, Liz. How you doing, Liz? I bet you want snow. I bet Adam wants snow, too. Hope things are great. Nate says, okay. Jennifer says, I'm assuming the snow is going to melt with all that rain. I think a good chunk of it will. I don't think the snow is going to disappear. I'm a very poor judge of that as well. Remember the Christmas a few years ago? It was 3 years ago. We had 17 inches of snow on the ground, and we were going into Christmas, and we're going to have a white Christmas, and it all melted with a big rainstorm. I said, no way does it all melt. And it did. It did. So I bet we have a little bit left after this. We'll cut it in half. How's that sound? I don't know. Maybe it'll go away. Oh, wow. It's only raining in Waterville. That can't be right. Is it raining in Waterville? If it is, it'll change over to snow. I think it will change over to snow for you. Waterville will get some snow. How much in Northport? Northport. Not sure. Let's go 2 to 5. How's that? Just started in Lewiston. Good to know. Jen, thank you very much for the update. Lewiston's probably in the upper end of the 2 to 5 as well. How much snow in South Paris? You'll get 5 to 10 in the Paris area in Oxford County. Any closures for Biddeford Saco OB? I'm not sure, Lisa. We have that on our website, and I think we have a little closing ticker on our on WGME and Fox 23, so you can check it out there. I have not seen any of the schools, so I'm in the dark with the schools right now. So sorry, just been forecasting the weather tonight. Pittston Gardner. All right, Pittston Gardner. Does everybody want to know their snowfall totals? Let me see. Gardner. You'll get into the 2 to 5 probably. Yeah, upper end of the 2 to 5. Yes, Waterville should be getting snow. Snowing in Auburn. Thank you, Teresa. Hello, Jan. Good evening to you as well. Hoping for the day off. You know, I want the tomorrow off, Valerie. I'm with you on that. That would be nice to have it off. I'm not going to get it off, though. Traveling tomorrow AM from Sanford to Oxford. How safe would that be? You'll be fine anytime, probably late morning and afternoon. How's that? I think you'll get a little bit better as the day goes on. The whole thing's moving out by mid-morning. Augusta area. Yeah, my guess, question mark. You wondering snow or wind? Gust 40 to 50 in Augusta, and snowfall upper end of the 2 to 5, probably 4 to 5 or something like that. We'll see. It's going to come down heavy, though. So it's like, you know, you got heavy bands of snow with a rain snow line coming in. So if it snows for 2 more hours than anticipated, then yeah, you'll end up way up here. So we'll see what happens. Do you think the power will go out in Wilton, Farmington? My guess is, you get the wet snow. It's possible. I don't think you'll get the extreme winds in Farmington, so that's good news. I'm going to say no on that. Just a guess. Snowing in Rumford. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. All right. Hi, Amanda. Carabessa checking in. Hello, Klein. Snow in Livermore. Thank you very much. Connor, do you think the power will go out in Wilton, Farmington? I'm going to say no. Maybe, though. It's possible. Snow in Norway. Let's see here. I'm just clicking through these as I go. Snowing gray. Everybody's reporting snowing gray, snow in Auburn. Thank you very much. Snowing in Casco. Teresa, Elizabeth, Caleb. There's Liz again. Thank you, Liz. I'm finally getting to some of these. Appreciate it. Snowing in Jay. Everybody's got a nice report. I appreciate that. You know, let's look at the radar. Let's look at the radar right now. Yep, there's your radar. And this is just we can look at, I want to do one more thing. Hang tight. I want to see if we can get a detailed look at temperatures. Yes, here we go. This is what we want. And I think we're going to see some interesting temperatures at the coast. There we go. All right, so most areas of the coast are already in the mid-30s, but let's get a little bit closer. Cape Elizabeth is closing in at 40. Ooh, look at that. There's a battle line right now over York and Cumberland County. Look at this. 20s hanging on from Buxton to Gorham to Windham to Waterboro. 32 in Scarborough. Harpswell coming at 36. All right, Kittery, Berwick, Sanford. All right, most areas south are climbing. There's that battle line. It's from Buxton over to Shapley area, coming right down, actually just north of 202, perhaps. And those of you across Mid-Coast Maine, wow, we've already warmed up in New Harbor, close to 40. There's a battle from Topsom to Wiscasset to the Bath Brunswick area, probably. There we go. There's the cutoff in the temperatures. And yeah, no problems in the mountains here. So we're staying cold enough to support snow up there for a while. All right. I think that hopefully that answers all your questions. Let's go right back down to the bottom. Maybe if there's a few more questions I can get to. If I have not answered your question, I apologize. I'm trying to get through most of them here. It's raining in Saco, Myra says. What time does it end? You know what? That's a good question. Might be a good time to go through the forecast timing again. All right, let's go. That's all the warnings. It's a lot of graphics put together, huh? All right, here we are, 8 o'clock tonight. This is lining up really well. There's that rain snow line jogging north, still snowing for Lewis and Auburn, Freiburg, Bridgeton area, Augusta, Waterville. Still snowing for these areas up in the mountains. Heavy rain, strong winds, early morning hours, pre-dawn hours. That'll probably be the worst of the storm, I guess 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. But the back edge of the rain, mountain snow, strong winds, that moves out, my guess, 9, 10 o'clock. So hope that answers your question. The rain in Saco, what time does it end? Let's say like 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. I think that's when you start to see some improvement. Oh, Liz said the temperature increased 6 degrees at her house in Portland. That's the southeast wind kicking in. Look at that. We are getting great reports coming in from our weather watchers. Liz, I'm calling you CBS 13 weather watcher, Liz and Adam. Thank you very much. All right. I think that's it. All right, Josh says, did the December storm break the record of the Great Flood of 1987? In some locations it did. Pretty sure in Saco and Conway it did. In Sydney it did. There's a few sections it did. Let's see if I have those. We're getting off topic now, but I might have deleted those graphics. But you can scroll down on my Facebook page and the Charlie W. Jimmy Facebook page. I have all those graphics posted of all the records that were set for each river location. And in some cases, we did break 87. In one case, we even broke the record from 1936, which is 1936 is that's the one that all floods are measured by, the 1936 spring flood. So I think that was the one up in the Sandy River. Can't remember which one it was right now. So, all right. I think we'll leave it there tonight. Thank you very much for checking in. And there still are a bunch of you on here, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend what's tonight? Tonight's Tuesday night, right? We will hopefully have a better Wednesday afternoon, which we will. Thursday looks okay. Friday looks okay with the next storm. Friday night into Saturday. So next snow event, my guess area wide after this one is probably Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. The mountains with this thing Friday night, Saturday could be another big storm. So ski resorts, rejoice. All right. Have a nice night. We'll have more updates on Fox 23 at 10, CBS 13 and 11. I'd love to see some of your reports. You can post them right here. All right. Take care. Have a nice night.